welcome everybody. Just give everybody a second to get settled here. I would expect a small crowd today, and we'll do some type of hopefully most of you have the opportunity to mail it in for the rest of this week here. We don't. We got to go hard till the end, but hopefully you guys are kind of got one foot out the door for winter break here. But give me just 1 minute, and then I'll talk about kind of our headlines, tease what's coming around the corner next month, and then obviously answer any questions that you all have. But I would anticipate, again, we're a smaller crowd, so we'll probably cut out early, I would imagine today. So again, looking around the corner, I guess I'll start there. So obviously we are just kind of works out nicely with the calendar. We don't have this counselor coffee talk next week. We do have it right when we get back after break on January 3rd, I believe it is, that Wednesday. Yeah, on the 3rd. We decided not to do kind of our FAFSA tutorial for counselors then, just because I think some of you all are like just getting back then, probably maybe playing catch up, from the holiday break. So 2 weeks later, just kind of mark on your calendars. And of course you'll hear from us, but on the 17th, right at 12 Eastern time, like we typically do, these is when we will do, it'll be Peg and myself, we'll walk through the new FAFSA, pretty close to like a line by line experience, but just get you all really comfortable for what that whole new FAFSA looks like, from signing on with the FSA IDs, which is new this year. And it'll be interesting to see once that goes live next week what that looks like. We're expecting it to be pretty clunky. So I think this kind of the in-house predictions with the information we have so far is that the sign-in process and submitting process might go a step backwards as they try to sort through that. All good intentions. They're trying to make it more secure and things like this. Sounds like they kind of gone overboard in terms of, needing to have alignment with the parents and the students at the same time type of deal. But the form itself, and I think, and again, we've seen a whole bunch of previews and got in there a little bit, way easier, way less complex. But yeah, the January 17th, we're gonna get you totally comfortable with that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of our quick kind of timeline. So and obviously leading up to the 17th, we'll be putting out a whole bunch of stuff, and we got our eyes all over this. So it looks like, again, still some uncertainty, but it'll be live and kind of announced live to the whole public for December 31st, but there's going to be a soft opening before that. Similar to what the CSS profile does, right? Where the CSS profile is actually, they advertise it as being accessible October 1st, but this year is accessible, I think, a full 10 days before. It's a good week and a half before, where they're allowed to it's kind of like a live dress rehearsal where they try to work through some of those kinks and have actual users get on there early before it goes to the kind of full public, right? So that's kind of the thought process here, is that it'll be available 26th or 27th when you can actually get in there, bang around and complete and submit a FAFSA. But the kind of public facing accessibility date will be December 31st. Now, there's still this huge kind of misconception, myth in general, that I'm sure you all get, that we get all the time. I've had a couple of it this week of like, oh, I can't believe it's not accessible until January 31st. We're going to have to take up our New Year's Eve and New Year's Day doing the FAFSA to make sure we get as much money as possible, right? I'm sure you guys are all aware of this, but it's one of the biggest kind of pieces of, I don't know, myths, I think is the right way to say it, that it's first come, first serve, and whoever gets their FAFSA in the earliest is going to be entitled to the most money. That's not true. It's rooted in some truth in that you want to make sure that you get your financial aid applications in by the school's priority deadline, right? And But if the priority deadline for the FAFSA is February 1st, you're not entitled to any more money, whether you get that in on December 31st or February 1st at 11:59 p.m., right? If you get it in February 2nd, now we could potentially receive less aid than we would have, right? Or not be in that first wave of financial aid eligibility applicants, et cetera. So we want to hit the deadlines at the schools that we're targeting, and obviously those are going to change if we're early decision, early action, or regular decision. So we want to be great there, but in terms of getting more money, if we submit this thing on New Year's Day versus 3 weeks later, zero truth to that. As a matter of fact, and we will tell everybody this that will listen, we tell everybody, and for the most part, we don't even bother internally getting on the FAFSA the first week of January. It's broken every year for the last, call it, decade. That first week, it's broken more often than not. It just cannot handle the volume. So we don't even try, right? We'll get in there earlier. We'll obviously be in there every day, just kind of kicking the tires, seeing what's going on. And who knows, maybe with this new FAFSA, the new servers and the back-end engineering can just handle more. I'm not anticipating that. I think the right expectation to set is that this is going to be the clunkiest year in recent memory, right? And maybe we all have a pleasant surprise and it doesn't work out that way. But I just think from a mindset standpoint, it's like, guys, don't worry about trying to get on here the first week of January. We're not going to get any less money. Let's kind of see how this thing plays out, and we'll jump on there, second week of January-ish to get these things submitted. So that's the latest and greatest there. Just continue to see some interesting things on the admissions end. We get some, I think, this is anecdotal, but just some more kind of, I guess, pleasant surprises and victories for test optional kids at really competitive schools. So that's been great. I don't know if you guys have enough kind of data to see any trends, or there's been some real surprises for better or for worse. I guess I'm looking at one. I'm not as close to the admissions as some other folks on my team, but just kind of thinking through some things that got shared this week. I guess another kind of a surprise that Fairfield University up by me is continuing to get more competitive, and their ED pool was pretty stacked this year. And again, those admissions folks were a little surprised to see some of those that were deferred or not accepted that they thought had a great chance, especially the ED route. And I think we continue to see some fairly straight lines at a decent amount of colleges with ED acceptances and how much these parents are going to be able, or families are going to be able to afford, right? Where these families that, again, I'm oversimplifying here, but have some more means or not eligible for much need-based financial aid. Those kind of bubble kids getting in a little bit more than those that are going to be, eligible for a whole bunch of financial aid, right? So, again, maybe not unlike other years, still seeing some business decisions get made for these folks that are on the fence. But I think those are the biggies, right? It's obviously all eyes on FAFSA. Again, we should be able to get in there middle of next week. We're live for everybody December 31st, or at least publicized as live for everybody December 31st. But again, let's expect it to be clunky. Let's expect it to be very difficult to get on this first week of January. And when we do, this is maybe the most frustrating thing. You get on there and you get kicked off, you get booted. So save your parents and maybe yourselves some worries by trying to get on there that first week of January. Let the masses kind of kick the tires there for us, and we will. And obviously, again, we'll continue to tell everybody kind of what's going on, what we're seeing on our end. But any questions? Please please fire away. Hopefully you all again are getting ready to shut her down for a good week and change, and hopefully this week is getting if you're not already at mail it in phase, you're getting close. But yeah, I'll sit tight for any questions or any comments, or let me know what you guys are seeing out there. And if we don't have anything, I don't believe I have anything more to offer. And again, for those of you who just jumped on new, the second coffee talk of January, which obviously we'll make sure that we share this and advertise this, but the second one is on let me also share. Sorry, I forgot to do my whole song and dance at the beginning, so let me grab this as well. But the January 17th is when we'll be given kind of a line by line tutorial through the FAFSA. We are doing FAFSA nights for parents, 3 dates. And let me give you, so just write into, if you want us to do a FAFSA night for your parents, write into counselor@collegeaidpro.com. The 3 dates we have on the calendar at the moment for kind of line by line walkthrough. We do all strategy too, right? Here's out of this new divorce rule. Here's who should be doing the FAFSA and creating the FSA IDs. Don't put your retirement accounts on the FAFSA. This is what's new for business owners. That's, I would argue, the biggest one this year. Business owners got to get it right. So we are doing our FAFSA nights on January 16th, 17th, and the 24th of January. The 16th is kind of targeted for West Coast Mountain Time families. That's at 6:30 Pacific time. And then on the 17th and the 24th, we are doing 7 Eastern time for families. So if you want to include your school for any of those, again, just write into us, counselor@collegeaidpro.com. Or if none of those days work and you want us to just do a FAFSA presentation for your school, you can let us know that as well. We will see what we can do there. And if anybody's wants to learn more about partnering with us, what that looks like, right? I think most of you know our technology platform, right? The Naviance or Score or School Links, whatever you call it, of financial aid and scholarships. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, talk to us. I put my meeting link in there too. So if you just kind of want to talk about your school, because the thing that we're doing where our platform, I think, is offering a lot of value right now is, we're the most accurate kind of robust net price calculator you're going to find in the world. We're much more accurate than college's net price calculator. So families can have their own accounts to see what these schools are actually going to cost them next to their family's budget. We have every private scholarship in the country baked into the platform here because it's almost private scholarship season, right, for the class 2024. And then line by line instructions through the FAFSA and CSS profile. But what happens this time of year is that as these ED acceptances and awards come in, they can upload their offers. Number one, we translate them. So they can just put in, hey, I've been accepted to Boston University, right? Let me take a picture of my award or put in the PDF. Okay, it will instantly auto translate that and put it in a way that there's about 900 different ways that colleges presented financial aid awards last year. We put them into one uniform way so families can compare apples to apples, and we want them focused on top line. What's the school going to cost before you start borrowing? Then we can break down cost of attendance and what's need-based grant versus merit and subsidized versus an unsubsidized loan. But all these different offers in one uniform side-by-side way is the first get. And the second get is, did you get a fair award? What is the likelihood that you can go appeal for additional money at Boston University, right? And in this case, we got about $13,000 less than BU's net price calculator said you should get based on your family's financial profile, based on the student, et cetera. So very, very valuable tool, obviously, for families first and foremost, but we get a ton of school counselors that get a ton of value out of this as well. Again, if you're seeing it for the first time, just write into counselor@collegeaidpro.com or book a time with me. I just put my school counselor link in the chat, and let me see. I get it. Okay. Okay, are there any schools requesting FAFSA as soon as possible with their EA and ED applicants? By and large, they are still the earliest, even for EA and ED students we're seeing is February 1st, right? So just about all these schools, just like when the CSS profile comes out November 1st, the earliest kind of ED applications for financial aid for the CSS profile is a month out, right? They're still operating by that same timeline. We've seen some exceptions. I want to say, I'm going off the top of my head. It's like Willamette in the Pacific Northwest. I always mess up that pronunciation. They want theirs a little earlier. That's one of the very few exceptions that I've seen, but for the most part, great question. I mean, these colleges are still going to give families a month at least. The reason why they're going to urge families to get them in earlier this year is not so much, or I should say, really nothing to do with getting more money, so they can get them turned around quicker. So these schools are going to be more aggressive in their messaging to parents to say, yeah, even though it's due February 1st, get these in as quick as possible so we can start packaging these as quick as possible, and get them back to you all. But yeah, great question. And again, the obviously you have to say every school's different, right? So as families ask those questions, hey, when's Fordham's FAFSA due? You got to say go to Fordham's financial aid website or go to College Aid Pro and click on Fordham here. But the the earliest we're seeing with those, outside of very few outliers, is February 1st for when those are due. Okay, and I'll like I said, I'll hang around for any more questions should you have any. But yeah, we are, if you want us to do a FAFSA presentation for your school and your community, please let us know ASAP. Obviously, the calendar is filling up pretty quickly, and we have those 3 preset dates. And again, just to rattle those off again, just write into us and we'll get you the Zoom links, and we'll get you marketing collateral so you can just share it with parents. Say, here's the blurb, here's the dates. Anybody sign up. Our first one is on, we have January 9th January 16th at 6:30 Pacific time, right? So that's for, intended for kind of mountain range and West Coasters, 6:30 Pacific time. And then we have 7 Eastern time on the 17th or the 24th. So again, if you want, please reach out. Yeah, I mean, look, you can't get it. So maybe some of you got a notification about waiting until after the soft landing to fill the FAFSA. Are you hearing that too? I think they're trying to discourage too many people from getting in there during the soft launch. They want that to be more controlled. So that's more of in theory, the functionality should be fine, and you should be able to get in there with less traffic than before December 31st, right? But the messaging from them is sit tight. But yeah, to your point, right? We're basically telling our audience, wait until at least that first week of January. There's nothing wrong with trying, but if it's glitching at all or not letting you on, and worse yet, kicking you off, put it down, come back a week later. Again, we are going to be a mouthpiece for providing messaging around its kind of functionality, cooperation or lack thereof in real time. So stay tuned with what we're doing. Definitely follow us on the socials if you're not already. Give me one second here, because what I'm doing is I'm just trying to grab our socials. I don't know if we keep them anywhere in one place. I'm sure we do. Asking our marketing folks. Yeah, and we got a lot of stuff. Like if you don't follow us on socials already, I'd recommend it because we have a lot of counselors that just it's an easy way to share information. We're just sharing great content on there, and here's what's going on with the social, and here's or sorry with the FAFSA, and here's top 5 FAFSA tips and do's and don'ts and all that. So if you don't follow us, I'd recommend it. Because hopefully it's a way that you can provide some value to your families, your communities in a really pretty easy way, right? Reshare some of any of the stuff that you think families would find impactful, useful, etc. Yeah, generally families that have a green card can complete the FAFSA and submit the FAFSA. There are some nuance within there, but generally speaking, they can still complete and submit the FAFSA. There is some school specific stuff that will follow there, and different colleges have different policies in terms of how they disperse their funds, both merit and need, based on some citizenship status and residency, right? Where some, if you're not a U.S. If you're an international student, for example, or family, you're not eligible for merit or need-based financial aid. That's some colleges. As a matter of fact, some colleges make you prove via showing them your bank statement that you have enough to attend that college in cash that first year, right? That's what some colleges do, where they're not going to even give you an admissions thumbs up until they know you can pay full sticker price, and you can prove that. Whereas others, they're great with giving international merit-based scholarships, or still can give some institutional need-based financial aid, even if you're not eligible for the FAFSA. So again, that stuff is all baked into our platform here, right? Where somebody can click on any college, and we're going to tell you, every single scholarship that they offer, the qualifications for each, and we're really good at showing you, well, how much are you going to get? So, and you can search just for things like international scholarships, right? So if I'm not a U.S. citizen, which colleges are still, do I have a shot to get some discounts based on my merit, regardless of citizenship or residency status, right? So that is something that we pride ourselves on. And another big one is that none of the net price calculators at colleges account for split household families, right? Divorced or separated families. And we do. I think that's something that we do really well, is help those families that don't have kind of a, if there is such a thing, down the fairway situation. And of course, there's no such thing as a down the fairway situation. Okay. Again, I'll hang on for a couple more minutes here, guys, before we cut out early. All right, y'all. If that's all we got, I'll give it a going once, going twice. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Merry whatever you're celebrating, if you're celebrating. But you guys, you all school counselors, make sure that you put those away messages up, shut those phones off. You guys do not get enough breaks. We appreciate you, right? I don't know if you saw, I gave a little message in our newsletter that I think went out today or is going out today. Hopefully it comes across as genuine, because it is. I mean, I think I know better than most that you guys have one of the, I think, hardest jobs, because you either have an impossible workload in terms of students, and you wear so many hats, right? Oftentimes in addition to the college stuff. Or if you have a manageable caseload and you're just doing the college stuff, that usually means that you're at a place with unbelievable expectations, right? Private schools, or these communities that have parents that expect you to get their kids into Harvard, type of deal. And I think, in my experience on being a fly on the wall for you guys for 2 decades, it's relatively thankless. I don't think you get enough kudos. So kudos. We really appreciate you again. And we think of this as like we're the tip of the spear together, helping students, families, etc., navigate this thing the right way. And again, our goal is to try to make your lives a little bit easier, right? I always say, if we can take 5-10% of your stuff off your plate. Hopefully that's a win. But anyways, I appreciate you. Enjoy the break. You've earned it and some, I have no doubt. And we'll see you after the break, after the new year, 2024. Thanks, everybody.